DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, hope you're all well. It is Monday, yes. And you know what I'm going to say. Monday is usually Tag Day. Well, it'll be no exception, but it will be a little bit different because, there's no Jasmine tag today. Jasmine was busy. So we do have, nevertheless, two tags because Dave Nicholson got extra zealous and made a separate tag for this Monday, which I forgot the title that he gave, but I guess it was like another Monday tag or something like that. But he was being very zealous because Jasmine's tags are usually 5 questions, and Dave went and added another 5. So it's going to be 10 question tag. Well, you know what? I am probably going to do all 17 questions in one go. Yeah. It's all a Dave tag, isn't it? In a way. So anyway, let's start off exceptionally this time with Dave Nicholson's last Saturday 7-question tag. Okay. And it's pretty deep questions at some point, so I don't know if I'll be giving deep answers or not. We'll just see. Question 1. What is the most insensitive thing a person can do? I don't know if there is one thing that can be categorized as the most insensitive thing. Clearly, try and sit down here if it's not too cold. Clearly, one insensitive thing is to look over someone's pain and make it all about you. I've seen that a few times, or even quite often actually, where people are grieving, but somehow it just becomes all about you. And the insensitive part basically is not caring for others. Basically just thinking like, I am the most important thing in the world, or the most important person in the world. Wrong. Okay. That's one way to answer the question, but certainly not the best one, but it is. Okay, question 2. What can someone do to grab your attention? What can someone do to grab my attention? Well, be very nice or be a jerk. Usually one of the two manages to get my attention. You might say that actually very often it's the second one. If you're a car driver, and someone just, cuts in front of you, it'll grab your attention. I guess very often it's doing something unexpected that breaks you out of your mode of what you were doing. Yeah. I guess I'll leave it at that. I'm not quite satisfied with my answer, but I'm on the spot right now, but that is one way of answering it. Question 3. What do you usually think about on your drive home from work? Getting home? No, actually, on my drive home from work, when I would drive, I would usually have a cassette tape in, which was a kind of a radio theater type thing, and that would make me think about what was going on, using my imagination, But having said that, when I was driving, the main thing was looking at the road. Yeah, but otherwise, if I was, I used to take the train a lot, and I would listen to John Denver music. So what would I think about? Well, actually, I would think about the words that he was saying, and the sentiments and the thoughts, and because a lot of his music is very profound and almost religious, and I would usually think about that, yeah, and think about his songs would make me think about the higher things of life. Wow. So what do I usually think about on my drive home from work? You know something? I'm so happy I don't have to drive home from work anymore. Okay, question 4. What's one downside to the modern day world, of the modern day world? Well, if you look at today's world, lack of communication, lack of sensitivity within the communication. One of the really big downsides is that people, how do we call them, the keyboard warriors. So many people have become that. That is definitely a lack. There's a lack of sensitivity and of niceness, and polarization in the modern day world. Question 5. What simple fact do you wish more people understood? Oh, the love of God. Yeah. Some will say, is that simple? It is. Okay, question 6. If you could do it all over again, would you change anything? Let me see. I think Dave answered that pretty good, actually, in a way. I think he said something like, if I changed something, I wouldn't be me. There is part of that that's true. What would I change? Well, like I said, I'm glad that I didn't change the fact that we decided to stay in Switzerland and Europe. So would I change anything? Really? Probably not. Because I see that everything that happened, even the bad things which I might not even be proud of, had consequences, but those consequences led up to where we are now. So finally, I think that was what was meant, or allowed, if I could put it that way, in a theological bent. Could I have changed things? Yeah, there are one or two things maybe I could have been more. I could be less self-centered at times. Yeah. Okay, question 7 and last of this tag. How would you describe your future in 3 words? Oh. Jesus loves me. And that is the first of the tags. And you know what? I am nevertheless going to make 2 tags. Otherwise, it'll be way too long. And nobody will want to stay until the end. So that'll be DC signing off for the first tag. And I will be back in a second.